Good evening, everybody. JDev has returned once again to give you exactly what you want. And of course, that'd be more of me, that amazing, beautiful backdrop that's almost always behind me, giving you my thoughts, my opinions, and what I hope will be some expert analysis on a certain topic subject. So, most of you know, some of you don't know, recently, as in this past weekend, I was at another convention meeting more celebrity slash famous people. And it got me thinking, since I've met my fair share of celebrity slash famous people, who are the top 10 coolest? And since making lists like this is what I do, well, here you go. So I'm going to be giving everybody from my experiences, the top 10 coolest celebrities that I've met. Not my favorites necessarily, but the top 10 coolest. But before I do that, there's a few things that I need from you. First of all, if you're on this, or if you're watching this on YouTube, I need you to be subscribed. I know I haven't been making a lot of videos lately. That's going to change. It might even start changing now, but I guarantee you by the start of October, there'll be a daily video or more, because I got a lot to talk about. You ask what? Well, the season premiere of The Walking Dead Season 10 is on October 6th, and then on October 11th, Netflix is going to drop El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. I am just ecstatic about that, considering I didn't even realize it had been filmed yet, let alone getting it this soon. So I'm super excited about that Breaking Bad movie. There'll be lots of videos discussing that. Obviously, I'm going to recap it. I don't know how long the movie, but I'm going to count it as a TV show for my yearly awards. But I'm super stoked about that. And then there's just other things. UFC stuff I'll still do. I know a lot of you don't like that, but hey, that's my passion, so that's what I'm going to keep doing. But there'll be plenty of Walking Dead stuff starting probably right before October starts, so that's not far away. And if you're on Facebook, well, actually, let's go back to YouTube. So in addition to subscribing, I need you to thumb up the video. Or thumb it down if you're not a fan, and leave a comment. No particular reason, no particular comment. Just leave a comment about the celebrities that you've met, and maybe, out of 1 out of 10, rank them on how cool they were. Obviously, you don't need to put a top 10 list, but if you got a couple, I'd be curious to hear what you have to say. And then, of course, if you're on Facebook, make sure you like the video and leave a comment about the same thing, because that's what you're supposed to do. When you're going to listen to the video, you might as well react to it. So, without further ado, my top 10, or the top 10 coolest celebrities that I've met. But to start the list off, we're going to do an honorable mention. And this is tied for 11th. Ray Nitschke, formerly of the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, he's no longer with us. He played back in the day. I think he was a linebacker. I think. Maybe a defensive end. But I'm pretty sure he's a linebacker. I was pretty young at the time, maybe 10, 12, somewhere in there, and my dad took me to a card convention, and Ray Nitschke was there signing autographs. He was really cool, from what I remember, at least. But the really cool thing is, I asked him about his Super Bowl ring, and he actually took his ring off and gave it to me. Like, here, try it on. The thing was fucking huge. I was really young then and wasn't really developed yet, so I didn't have big hands or anything close to big hands then, but it was pretty cool. So that moment alone, and he wouldn't let my dad put it on. He only let me put it on, which was pretty cool. So Ray Nitschke, honorable mention for number 11, as well as Batista, a.k.a. Dave Batista, former WWE superstar and actor from Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the Bond movies, and Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. So I met Dave Batista. He was at a bar that I went to. He wasn't really talkative, but he was cool, and he would, say certain things but not keep talking. But there was one point he's like, "Hey, do you mind following me to the bathroom and just kind of stand and guard? Because really, I don't want anybody to come up from behind me while I'm trying to take a piss." I was like, "Yeah, no problem, Dave." And he was cool. And there's more to tell about that story in this video. But just 2 honorable mentions. Dave Batista was really cool. And, of course, Ray Nitschke. But coming in at number 10, the official list, we have my favorite UFC fighter of all time, the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion, Jon Bones Jones. So I met Jon Jones at a meet and greet in New Jersey. You got to understand something. It was fucking busy. He had lots of people in line. It cost like $165 to meet him, too, in addition to the travel expenses. But he was quick, obviously, with me, but he asked me, hey, where are you from? And I'm like, actually, I flew here today from Wisconsin. He's like, what? Man, you're dedicated. He's like, why don't you just go somewhere else when I go there? I'm like, I don't know. I never know when I might not get the opportunity again. But and he said something to me that resonated because he saw my look. I don't have tattoos or anything, but I'm a big guy, muscular. And I got a little fat on me too, but John said by my demeanor and like how I kind of sidestep somebody really quick, he's like, you're the most imitating dude here. And that was cool. And he's like, why don't you fight? I was like, well, I getting old. He's like, nah, you're never too old. I see how quick you are on your feet. So Jon Jones wants me to fight, and who knows, maybe I'll do it. That UFC heavyweight division could use some new blood. It's got some of it, but maybe they need my blood in there. But I don't think it'll ever happen. But you never know. So Jon Jones, number 10. Coming in at number 9, somebody I've actually met twice now, recently, and in 2016. You have to understand this person. It's Neve Campbell, formerly of Party of Five, the Scream movies, Drawny Mona, Skyscraper. You get the point. But obviously Neve Campbell's mainly known for the Scream movies, Scream 1, 2, 3, and 4. Neve Campbell's lines are always crazy busy. Everybody wants to come to these things to meet Neve Campbell. Obviously, she has to be somewhat quick with me, but at least she talks to you and is nice. I was having her sign a Ghostface mask, and she was going to sign the mouth, and I kind of wanted to. It was kind of told to me to have it signed in silver, and Neve said, "I think I should sign this in red. It'll look a lot better. It'll stand out more." And she was right. So props to Neve Campbell for making that suggestion, because obviously she's signed a lot more Ghostface masks than I have. Well, I've signed none, and she's probably signed 5 million, something like that. So Neve Campbell, number 9, cool, and I paid to meet her again because she's really cool. Number 8 would be Ric Flair. Yes, Ric Flair. I met him at the same hotel bar that I met Dave Batista at. Ric Flair is just like how he is on TV, except he's a lot more talkative than Dave Batista, and he was actually like following me around talking to me. He bought me a few drinks, and he does what he does on TV. He takes his jacket off and elbow drops it and knee drops it on the dance floor, and then told me, and I quote, "How many of these cocktail waitresses do you think will come to my room tonight?" I was like, "I don't know, Rick." He's like, "All of them!" Woo! So, Ric Flair, hell of a guy, and I never liked him until I met him. So, Ric Flair, number 8. Number 7, former WCW champion and another actor from the Scream movies, all 4 of them, Ready to Rumble, lots of different movies, David Arquette. David Arquette was cool at the fact that a lot of celebrities stand behind their table when they meet you, and then they let you come around and take a picture. Well, David Arquette stands on the other side with the mob of fans and just tries to have a subtle conversation with people. Granted, his lines aren't that long usually, but it's cool that he does that. It's a good experience. I pay for an autograph and a picture, which is supposed to be an autograph and a picture, and then the lady friend that I went with, he's like, "Hey, do you want a picture together?" And that's just cool because he could have charged me for that picture, but he didn't. I would have paid for it possibly, but he didn't. So that's cool. And it just, he talked to me for a few minutes, and then the next day I went and talked to him a little bit while I was standing in line waiting to meet Neve Campbell for the second time because he only had nobody in his line for some reason. Because, like I said, everybody comes there to see Neve Campbell. So David Arquette, he makes the list at number 7. Number 6, we have Tim Legler. He's a analyst / host or something. Does basketball stuff on ESPN. but he also used to play for the Washington Bullets when they were the Bullets, not the Wizards, and other various teams. So here's the story. I think it was in 1998. I'm not 100% sure on the year. The Bucks were playing the Bullets in Milwaukee, and I wanted to go to a Bucks game. So my dad took me to a Bucks game, but we spent the night there. So we went Saturday night or Friday night, and I think the Bucks game was on Saturday. So we stayed at the Wyndham Hotel in Milwaukee, and it turned out all the members of the Washington Bullets were there. And I'm talking Jim McIlvaine, the 7'7" Romanian George Murashon, Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, Rasheed Wallace, Robert Pack, Brent Price, Mark Price, Tim Legler, and if I'm forgetting anybody, well, my brain's a little fuzzy, but Tim Legler was cool. He actually invited me on the elevator with the whole team. Jimmy Lynam was there too, the coach. And he was just pretty cool. And I even told Tim, because I've seen him play, and I'm like, you're going to win the three-point contest. He's like, if I ever get in the three-point contest this year. You know what? He was in the three-point contest, and he won. So, Tim Legler, thank you. I predicted your future. But he was really cool. And I really, I had his autograph on a Wyndham Hotel white sheet, and I don't know what I did with those autographs, but I had a lot of them. But Tim Legler, he left an impression on me. He was very nice and polite. So he made the list at number 6, and a lot of people don't know about that. Moving along, we have, coming in at number 5, formerly of Saved by the Bell, and the star of Showgirls, Elizabeth Berkley. So Elizabeth Berkley, Jessica Spano, I just recently met at the convention I went to in Indianapolis, and she was really nice and cool. She was a little bit of a flirt, too. Her line there was no line, so that might have helped matters. But she talked to me for a few minutes, and then even said, we're going to have to do some trivia later. I was like, trivia later? Saved by the Bell trivia? Are you kidding me? That's something I don't lose in. Well, Elizabeth Berkley gave me a trivia question for Saved by the Bell. What was Jessica Spano's middle name? And I couldn't remember what the hell that was. I don't even know if it was really ever mentioned. Maybe one episode or anything, something like that. But nonetheless, I didn't get it right because I didn't have an answer, and she got it right. Well, she knew it, and I was a little disappointed that I kind of said that I don't lose at trivia, Saved by the Bell, and I got the first question wrong. But whatever. She was cool. My only problem with Elizabeth Berkley was she didn't stand up for the photo. You got some celebrities that'll just sit in their chair. So it's a nice photo, though. I like it. It's pretty cool. But there it is, me and Elizabeth Berkley at the convention. And yeah, she's cool. She left an impression. So she comes in at number 5. Number 4 on the list, we have Jennifer Carpenter, formerly of Dexter, Quarantine, and other various projects, Limitless. So Jennifer Carpenter was my least favorite character on Dexter for the longest time, Dev's character. I thought her swearing was just kind of all over the place. And it seemed like she didn't really do anything herself, and it was always Dexter, helping her out so she'd get ahead in the cases and whatnot. But she was really nice. Again, it's another person that didn't have a line, but the second I went up there, I paid to get an autograph and a photo, so a combo, and she grabbed my arm and smelled my arm. She's like, wow, you smell good. I'm like, oh, thanks. I was like, damn, Jennifer, we're going to go up to my room now. Not like that, but it could have been. You never know. But the fact that she said I smelled good, and then I just kind of sat there and talked to her. Well, stood there and talked to her, I should say, and she was cool. So I'm glad I went up there because she wasn't necessarily high on my list. But Dexter is my second favorite TV show of all time. Granted, she's not my favorite character, but she toward the end there got a little bit better. The 7th season and the 8th season. So I liked it, and then she actually signed other autographs for some colleagues of mine that are lucky that I went out of my way to bring them some special goodies. So Jennifer Carpenter, because of how cool she was, comes in at number 4. Number 3 would be Juwan Howard. Yes, Juwan Howard, formerly of the Washington Bullets and a former member of the Miami Heat. And I'm sure there's been other teams that he's played for, but I don't really remember. Same story. He was at the hotel with Tim Legler. But Juwan Howard was actually worried about me. He's like, I've seen you lingering around here for a while. Are you here with somebody? I was like, yeah, I'm staying here with my dad. Well, he didn't believe me, so he's like, what room number? So Juwan Howard actually took me in the elevator, took me up to my floor, and made sure that I was staying there with somebody. And I was, obviously. I was there with my dad. And then when we came back down, he was actually in the lobby, and I took a picture of him. I'm not sure why I didn't take a picture with him. I had a Kodak camera with the disposable things that instantly print the picture or instantly develop it, whatever that. I don't remember how those things work because they are so old. But it would have been cool if I would have got a picture with him, but I didn't think of that. I could have had my dad take it. But he was really nice. He was really polite, and really polite to like the staff of the hotel, because I saw him interacting with them. Where some of the members of the team weren't necessarily rude, but they were very short, like, hey, I'm better than you because I play basketball. So good things. And I remember Juwan Howard, so you get him coming at number 3 on the list. Coming in at number 2, somebody who I thought would be number 1. Definitely number 1 in my heart, at least for now. But Tiffani Thiessen, formerly of 90210 and Saved by the Bell. Tiffani Thiessen is the only celebrity that I met where I got kind of starstruck, just a little bit, because when I was my turn in line, I just kind of froze for a second, and Tiffany's like, come on over. And she was just really cool. Another story about her is when I was waiting in line to meet her, her top kind of kept falling down a little bit. And she's like, oh, my boobs don't hold them up like they used to. And then she started going into details, and she's like, wait a minute, never mind. So that was pretty cool. But Tiffani, I met her. I told her she was beautiful, even at her old age of, 44, 45, 46 at the time. I don't remember what it was. She's like, thanks, dear. And she's like, are you here because you like my cooking, or are you just here for my Kelly Kapowski days? I was like, well, I'm here for your Kelly Kapowski days, but hey, I need a cookbook. I don't have one yet. So, yeah, I guess most of you probably don't know Tiffani Thiessen has a cookbook out, and that's the reason why she was in Chicago having a book signing for just her cookbook. So no Saved by the Bell merchandise was signed. But it was a good story. And her picture, she's like, has her arm like on my shoulder. And it's pretty cool. She's hot. She's still hot for her age, and I absolutely adore her. Trivia question. Well, not trivia question, but many of you don't know this, but Tiffani Thiessen was actually my first kiss on the lips in a dream. Yes. So the episode where Zach has knee surgery, I had that exact same dream, except instead of Zach in the dream, it's me, and Tiffani Thiessen's at the hospital, and she kisses me, and it was, yeah. So, yeah, that's that. Tiffani Thiessen, number 2. And I would love to meet her again. So I hope she does something soon. Maybe, hopefully, something Saved by the Bell related so we can get the band back together again. But coming in at number 1, surprisingly, he was in the first Scream, and he's got uncredited appearances in Scream 2 and Scream 4 as background characters. He also played Shaggy in Scooby-Doo, and he was also a Wing Commander and other various projects. Matthew Lillard. It's surprising that I'm going to put Matthew Lillard at number 1, but here's why. Just like David Arquette, instead of sitting behind his table, he stands on the other side and like interacts with everybody in line. And Matthew Lillard will literally talk to you and talk to you and talk to you. He just really likes the people. He doesn't rush anybody, from what I know. And he's just really cool. He'll sit on the table. He's really funny. Also, when I met him, he was really concerned with my shirt. It said Fight Owens Fight, because I'm a WWE fan, and I like Kevin Owens. He's like, where'd you get that shirt? I'm like, WWE.com. He's like, oh, we just worked with some wrestlers. He's really concerned about my Fight Owens Fight shirt. And then we took pictures, and he kept tickling my head, and I don't know, it was kind of strange, but he was cool. Now, granted, where I met him in Chicago, there was hardly anybody in line. When I just recently saw him in Indianapolis, he had line almost as big as Neve Campbell, but his line was consistently big because he mingles with people so long that there's a long line. But anyways, while I get done taking my picture with him, and then the lady friend that I went with, who I also went to Indianapolis with, she's about to get her picture taken with him, and he walks back over to me and starts talking to me about my shirt again. So I think he liked me. I don't know, but it was pretty cool. So it's a funny story to tell, just for all that interaction and all that politeness, and that he's very sincere. I had to put Matthew Lillard number 1 over Tiffani Thiessen and Juwan Howard and Jennifer Carpenter and everybody else. So hope you guys all enjoyed the video. It's just some insight. I'll recap the list. The honorable mentions at number 11, Ray Nitschke and Dave Batista. Number 10, Jon Jones. Number 9, Neve Campbell. Number 8, Ric Flair. Number 7, David Arquette. Number 6, Tim Legler. Number 5, Elizabeth Berkley. Number 4, Jennifer Carpenter. Number 3, Juwan Howard. Number 2, Tiffani Thiessen. And, of course, like we just talked about, Matthew Lillard coming in at number 1. So, again, hope everybody enjoyed the video. Make sure if you're on YouTube to subscribe to the channel, thumb up the video, leave a comment about your celebrity experiences. And if you're on Facebook, please like the video and also leave a comment about your celebrity experiences. And, of course, I'll be back again more. I'll be back again soon with some more. Peace.